we're gonna talk about tanks. Do you like tanks? What kind of tanks you like? What size tanks do you like? Comment down below in the comments. What size tank do you like? We're gonna talk about tanks, how I mounted these tanks, how we put these tanks in here, some of the putting bulkheads in, stuff like that in tanks. So check out this. Also at the end of this video, I'll have a playlist of all of the videos for this build. I built this right here for you guys, so that way you could see how to build rigs, and that's the reason why I did this here. It does have an 8 gallon a minute. Yes, I did 50 gallons, or it's a 55 gallon tanks, both of those. And yes, you will be able to work on that. So the next one is doing the dip tubes. I usually glue the top on here, and then I put it in, and then I just cut off a little extra, and then I shove it in, cut it off until I know where I'm at, and then that way I'm good to go and just be done with it. So the first thing is we want to use a primer. And right here, this is a primer, and we're gonna clean this. This will help get off any letterings. Like if you go here, you can see it'll erase the letterings off. I already cleaned them. We want to clean the insides of this too. The next thing is we're just gonna take a little bit of glue. This is PVC glue right here. We're gonna put a little bit of glue around there like so. And then what I do here is I will just, see if I can make sure I get a good video of it. I just take this here, slide this on, and I usually just push it on and turn it till it don't turn no more. And then that way, that gives me a good seal right there. And you're actually supposed to take a rag and clean around there, so that way it will, he's throwing stuff all over the place. Again, you know, this is stuff that kind of gets a little funky. Again, I'm gonna just turn it, keep turning until it don't turn no more. Get a good, nice, tight fit in it. And like I say, they say you should, I've heard plumbers say, you should take a rag and wipe around there, and that will actually help seal those a little bit better. Before we go on any further, if you would like to learn more about pressure washing and stuff like that, I have a step-by-step course of how to do a pressure washing business. You can go check it out at pressurewashhelp.com or King of Pressure Washing, and there I have all the steps. In fact, one of the steps is building your own rig, and I teach you step-by-step of how to build a rig, reasons why we need to build a rig, and not only that, it is also the 26 steps to the perfect house wash. I give you all 26 steps to make sure that you do a perfect house wash every time, and you do every step, so that way you hit everything you need to do, like marketing, like taking before and afters to cover your tail, and all of that is detailed in there, so make sure you go check that out. Let them dry, and then we can kind of see how long the tube is. We can set it next to it, kind of figure on how much air, cut it off. If it's a little short, that's fine. Obviously we don't want it too short. We got 2 of them. One is for our water tank, one is for our soap tank, and the reason why we have 2 is we'll bring it to a Y, so that way we can turn it off, and that way when we turn it off, it will, through that 3-way, we can clean out that downstream injector, so that way our downstream injectors last a lot longer. Once we put our bulkhead fittings in here, right here, the next thing we need to do is take a shop vac right there and open the lids, and we'll see if I can climb up here real quick and see the crap down in there, so that way you know why we need to do this for. If we don't, we can have shavings like this down here or in our tank. Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of shavings over in this corner down there. And what happens is them shavings will do 2 things. If it is in the soap tank, it will get into our downstream injector and not work. And if it's in our water tank, there's a little bitty on the back side of here. We take this out, there's like a little check valve in there. And if that check valve gets just a little bit piece of plastic or metal or anything in it, it'll sit there and it'll feel like a machine gun. So this is important. Now, we do have the filter that will hopefully catch most of it, but we still want to get it all out to make sure we get it all before we do it. Is it on? So I just take a vacuum, probably gonna have to lift it up here a little bit, turn it on here, and we'll just suck all this out down in there. Make sure we get it all out. And there's some over on the other side there. Not wanting to go over that way, you know. Alright. Check it, make sure all looks good and clean down in there. And so that's why we want to make sure we get all that crap out of there, so that way it doesn't get in those valves and cause us issues. This is another important reason why we want to make sure our lids are on, so that way we don't allow stuff to get in there. We can take a string and tie into here, and that way it keeps us from losing our lids, especially when you have employees, because they will lose them going down the road and all of that kind of thing.